For my second Versus episode, I'm going to look at the Bama boys and give my thoughts on who I think will have the brighter future and what got them there in the first place. Without any further ado, Jalen versus Tua. Jalen and Tua were placed in an interesting situation at Bama, as Jalen was the man before Tua came in and took his spot. Since then, the two have been on two separate paths that have each led them both to the league. But before we talk about who the two are now, let's see how they got there. Jalen Hurts was born in the middle of the football world in Houston, Texas, and as a result played for his father at Channelview High School. Not only did he just play, but Jalen was able to dominate with over 2,300 passing yards and almost 1,400 yards rushing to go along with just under 50 touchdowns during his insane senior year. With these stats, Jalen was a 4-star and was one of the top-ranked dual-threat quarterbacks in his class. As such a high-rated recruit, Jalen was noticed by many schools, and Texas A&M pursued him about as much as one school can, and although they were super interested, it didn't matter as he committed to Alabama. At Bama, in only his first year in college, Jalen led the Crimson Tide to an undefeated 12-0 record and won the SEC Offensive Player of the Year and SEC Freshman Player of the Year awards in a solid intro to college football. With such a great record, Jalen and the Tide made the college football playoff, but lost to Clemson in the championship in a back-and-forth battle that ended 35-31. The following year, in 2017, the team went 13-1 and yet again made it to the college football playoff against, you guessed it, the number 1 seed in Clemson Tigers. But this time they were able to win 24-6 to advance to the national championship, and with the help of standout freshman Tua Tagovailoa, the team were able to beat Georgia 26-23. After such a great championship, Tua earned the starting spot, and Jalen was a backup, until during the SEC championship game, Tua was injured and Jalen was able to step in and help the Crimson Tide win as they advanced to a 13-0 record. After Clemson steamrolled over the Crimson Tide in the national championship, Jalen announced that he would be transferring to Oklahoma in order to start for Oklahoma in his last year of eligibility. After such a great season, the Sooners were the 4th best team in the country, and as a result made the college football playoff against LSU, and yeah.
On 3rd and 17.
No, don't pull! No! Ah!
Although Oklahoma looked silly, Jalen did enough in the regular season, with over 3,800 yards passing and 1,200 yards rushing, along with 50 touchdowns, to earn the second spot in the Heisman voting to, you guessed it, Joe Burrow. Nonetheless, after his best year to date, Jalen went into the NFL draft and was selected 53rd overall by Philly. And after a ton of time as a backup, yet again, he was able to start in Week 14 against the Saints, where he was able to pass for over 150 yards and upon that ran for over 100, as the Eagles won 24-21. Following a string of losses from Week 15 to 17, he was benched in favor of Nate Sudfeld during Week 17 in one of the worst Sunday Night Football games of all time, as the Eagles lost 20-14. Now with Wentz likely heading out, it's looking like it's Jalen's time to start once again, but only time will tell. Tua Tagovailoa was born in, I know I might get this wrong, Iwa Beach, Hawaii, and grew up loving football, and as a result he played high school football and dominated, and because of it was able to make the 2016 All-American Bowl, after passing for over 2,600 yards and 27 touchdowns. Not only did Tua make the All-American Bowl, but he was also part of the 2016 Elite 11 group, and was even able to become the MVP of a group of players like Sam Ehlinger and Jake Fromm. After establishing himself as one of the best players in the nation, Tua became a 4-star, which is kinda low in my opinion. But anyway, he was the top prospect coming out of Hawaii, and as a result caught Alabama's attention and became a Bama boy. As I said before, he was able to earn the starting spot in the national championship against Georgia as the team won 26-23, and because of it, earned the starting position in 2018. As a starter, Tua led the Crimson Tide to another national championship, and although the team had a great regular season, they got destroyed by Clemson 44-16 and yet again lost to the Tigers. Going into his junior year, Tua was looking to get his second natty, and although things were going great, during a game against Mississippi State, a sack led to him dislocating his hip and breaking his nose as he was carted off and his season was over before it even started. In early 2020, to play safe, he declared for the draft, and even though he was injured, he was still a super high prospect, following a great college career, and as a result he went 5th overall to the Dolphins. In order to honor the great Dan Marino, Tua forewent his number 13 and decided to become number 1. Even though he was number 1 at Miami, Tua was a backup to Fitzmagic, as the two went back and forth with injuries. And even though Fitzmagic played the majority of the season, Tua was able to end the year on Week 17 with over 350 yards and a touchdown. even though he also passed for 3 picks and the team lost 56-26. It's looking like Tua will get the starting spot unless he gets traded for Watson, which could potentially happen, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Even though Tua outplayed Jalen in college, in order to earn the starting spot for the Crimson Tide back in 2018, times have changed, and since then the two have done their thing and made it to the NFL. Although Tua was drafted nearly 50 picks higher, honestly, he's done around the same amount as Jalen in terms of production, and the two are much closer than many would think. If we look at the stats in the first year, Jalen had just over 1,000 yards passing and 6 passing touchdowns, to go along with over 300 yards rushing and a rushing touchdown. On the other side, Tua had over 1,800 yards passing and 11 touchdowns, to go along with just over 100 yards rushing and 3 rushing touchdowns. If you're wondering why Tua had much more yards and touchdowns, he did start 6 more games.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
But nonetheless, they both produced a similar amount. It is important to take into account the teams around them, and in that aspect, the Eagles are much worse than the Dolphins, and as a result, it is way more difficult to play well in Jalen's situation. All this in mind, this is a really tough decision, and although many would go Tua, I've seen Jalen do much more with what he has in Philly, and although Tua has had much more success, it seems like Jalen is able to do more, especially in a place like Philly. But anyway, I see Jalen as a better Bama boy. And although I'm guessing you disagree, I want to see what you guys think, so comment down below who you think is the best and why. Jalen and Tua have a lot of potential, and because of that, I'm super excited to see what happens next for the Bama boys.
To the end zone, touchdown!
Thanks for watching the video, subscribe and like for more videos like this, and I will see you guys on Tuesday with yet another video. Peace out.